Hello, it's Saturday the 3rd of September. This is the Big Magazine from Big News. Now I'm here with you at this time every weekend to take a look at what's going on around our area of Birmingham, Solihull, the Black Country and beyond. Yes, hello again. Welcome to the Big Magazine. Time to open it up, open the pages. Now coming up today, all the usual features. We're going to take our regular look at what's up on this week's community notice board. Des and Gary will be telling us what's on this weekend, and Johnny Doom will give us his pick of the gigs. Then Carl will be here with his look at the film news. Thomas Russon has another book on the boil, and we'll look at some of the interesting things going on in our area too. Then after all that, I'll have a look to see how you've been connecting with Big Centre this week. So it's all coming up within the pages of the Big Centre magazine.
So then, let's have a look what is happening in our area as we turn our attention to the community notice board.
As ever, if you have some news you'd like us to mention, then give us plenty of notice and get in touch. The other way around, yeah, something like that.
And if you do want to give us notice and get in touch,
That's it.
then as always, we'll tell you how you can in a few minutes' time.
You know, we have a little bit of variety with the script sometimes, don't we? Now, it's a big hello to Katrina Plum, hello, and all the guys at the watering trough just around the corner from us here in Walsall.
She's asked us to let you know about the things they've got coming up soon. So what do they have coming up soon, Lee?
Well, on the 3rd of September, there's live music with the Dark Horses.
In October, there's more live music with the Black Country specials on the 1st, and then on the 29th of October, there's a charity Halloween party with live music from White Tiger.
White Tiger on Halloween. Ooh. You get scared at Halloween?
No.
Okay. Now, Katrina says each week that there's a games night on Mondays, Red Tooth Poker on Tuesdays. What is Red Tooth Poker? I don't know. Tell me. Free pool on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, it's free jukebox and open mic every other week. You'll find rock DJs on Fridays and Saturdays, then another free jukebox on a Sunday.
Love a jukebox.
Oh, yes.
So, that's all at the Watering Trough on Ablewell Street in Walsall.
Now, some historic buildings in Sandwell will be sharing some of their secrets and stories when they open their doors to the public as part of National Heritage Open Days from September the 8th to the 11th. Lots of activities and events are lined up, showcasing the borough's fascinating past, including the childhood home of one of the most famous historical characters in American history.
Who?
We will find out.
Ooh. Visitors can learn what West Bromwich was like in the 1650s. Enjoy live music, talks, walks, open days, food tasting, canal heritage and much, much more. You can find out where you can discover or what activities you can enjoy across the borough at www.heritageopendays.org.uk.
But if you want a flavour, then pin your lug-holes back now because we have a list of them. At Wednesbury Museum and Art Gallery on Saturday the 10th of September, local historian Ian Bott gives a talk about the mansions which were once all over the Black Country and are now lost.
I wish we still had mansions.
I know. You live in a mansion, don't you?
No!
Lady of the Manor.
Oh, I went very high-pitched then. Then on Thursday the 8th and Saturday the 10th of September, it is I Remember That, where you can celebrate the new Nostalgia Rooms display and travel back to the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s, featuring screens showing some classic children's TV shows. Lee will be interested in this.
Yes, I'm a bit of a geek and an anorak when it comes to the old kids' TV
Oh,
shows.
I thought we were referencing your age again. Oh, okay.
I knew that was coming up. I knew every week. Anyway, over now to the Manor House in Manor House Museum in West Bromwich. And on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th of September, you can discover what medieval people ate and find out if you would have survived the culinary skills of a medieval chef. What do you reckon?
I can't even survive the culinary skills of my own kitchen.
Are you not a good cook?
Can't cook, won't cook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
On the Galton Valley pumping station in Smethwick, and on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th of September. There's a lot going on the 10th and the 11th of September.
Busy old weekend.
You can visit the Canal Museum and discover life and work on the canal. See, that I like.
That is interesting,
I'm
actually.
a boating lady.
Yeah. Have you been to Black Country Museum?
Yes, love it.
The canal trip, where they do the leg in a lung? Yeah, that's brilliant. I've done that. Don't strain your legs. Anyway, next is Bishop Asprey's Cottage in Great Bar on Sunday the 11th of September. Now this is a rare chance to see this tiny cottage, which was the childhood home of the first Methodist bishop of the USA. You see, that's the famous one.
That's the America thing. Okay. There are a couple of things happening at Oak House Museum in West Bromwich. Firstly, on Thursday the 8th and Sunday the 11th, people have got a busy Sunday the 11th of
Plenty
September.
of choice.
You can discover what the Oak House would have been like at its height in the 1650s.
Also on Thursday the 8th and Sunday the 11th, it's time for a Victorian lady traveller. I knew that was coming, yeah. Now this one is actually an Islamic art exhibition, and that's on, Thursday the 8th and Sunday the 11th.
Turning to Hayden Hill House Museum now in Cradley Heath. On Thursday the 8th and Friday the 9th of September, you can take part in a historical landscape tour of Hayden Hill Park.
Now that is very nice. You know where that is, don't you?
Yes,
That's
yes.
a lovely place, yeah. From Thursday the 8th through to Sunday the 11th, it's Best's Angels at the same place, where you can learn about the lives of the two adopted daughters of George Alfred Hayden Best, who originally built Hayden Hill House.
Oh, that's really interesting. On Sunday the 11th, no. No.
Yes.
On Sunday the 11th of September, it'll be time for Proms in the Park, just outside the Hayden Hill House Museum.
Proms in the Park, I like the sound of that. And finally to Hayden Old Hall, which is next to Hayden Hill House, where on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th, you can discover 400 years of history at the Hayden Old Hall Open Day.
Like that Hayden Hill House and Hayden Old Hall should be like in an elocution lesson.
There should be actually, yes.
You know, like the rain in Spain and all that. Anyway, as a reminder, you can see all of those dates again. Well, it's the 10th and the 11th, everything.
More or less, yeah.
And find out more about each one at www.heritageopendays.org.uk.
Yeah, take your pick, there is plenty. Now, staying with the same theme, Birmingham Heritage Week organisers are encouraging local people and visitors to explore the city and learn something new about its history, with more than 200 events being promised.
And they will all be on the 10th and the 11th of September.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I'm joking. Right, whether people are new to the city or have lived here their whole lives, Birmingham's own Heritage Week runs from the 8th to the 18th of September and features a wide range of events, many of which are free, providing opportunities to see and learn things about Birmingham they may have never known before.
This sounds really good. I'm going to, have difficulty choosing which ones to have a look at. Birmingham's buildings, culture, history and people will be celebrated this year with something for people of all ages. So, for more information about Birmingham Heritage Week and the events taking place, we're not going to list them this time, but you can visit birminghamheritageweek.co.uk.
Now, Sandwell's newest secondary school, the first in 10 years, will open its doors on Tuesday the 6th of September at 8 a.m. The staff at Q3 Academy Langley are ready to open the doors to the first pupils starting a new term in a brand new purpose-built school building.
The first 153 Year 7 pupils will start this September, and the school will eventually accommodate more than 1,500 students aged 11 to 18. Now, the school is sponsored by Eric Payne, who also sponsors the Q3 Academy in Great Bar.
Sandwell Council has built the new school and has worked with Mr Payne to make the project happen in a relatively short space of time. Building of the second phase of the school is expected to start in late 2017.
Good luck to all the pupils there. Now, also in Langley, the Friends of Langley Library. I like that, Langley Library. Got a nice sort of split to it. They're holding a fundraising summer fun day. Little things amuse me.
Yes.
This fundraising summer fun day for all the family on Saturday the 10th of September. Did you agree with me then?
In my head I was thinking, oh bless them, Simple Minds, and then I didn't want to interrupt you talking, so I just went, yes.
I'm going home now. Simple Minds, good group.
Simple Minds, Simple Hearts. There's a saying there, I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
Right, don't rub it in.
Local families are being urged to get along to the event at the popular library and take part in lots of children's entertainment and giant family games. There will also be a bric-a-brac and other stalls, as well as face painting and the opportunity for local people to start to trace their family trees.
I like the sound of that. Something I've always wanted to do but never got around to doing this.
I just tell myself I'm related to the royal family.
I think we all know that.
Oh, thanks, Lee.
Yeah, you got that demeanour.
Yeah, I was definitely adopted.
Okay. Now, there will also be a chance to meet Woody Bear. Take a selfie with him at the event between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's the Friends of Langley Library.
So, that's what's coming up on this week's community notice board.
Are you sitting there thinking, I know something they can mention? Well then, get in touch. But do make sure you let us know in plenty of time.
So, how do you let us know in plenty of time and get in touch?
I'm not going to forget that now.
Well, there are many ways, but your best bet is to email us via the postbag. That's postbag@bigcentre.tv, or you can send us a message on social media at BigCentre TV.
Or you can put a letter in the post if you want to, pen to paper, right to this address. Go on, how are we going to get it on screen this week?
I don't know, I've run out of ideas.
There we go. Community Notice Board, Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL.
And we'll have more for you at the same time next week. Bye.
Now then, electric cars are the future, so they say. They reduce car emissions, more economical, and they're quieter. Well, now an electric vehicles show is coming to Malvern tomorrow. Dan Wild and Jim Murphy run an electric car business, and they were guests on Carl Jones's show last week.
Well, we've been running about coming up for 2 years now, and a week on Sunday we'll be having our inaugural national event. We started off because we had a natural inclination to be nosy about new technology, and one of the chaps in the village decided to, unbeknownst to us really, buy one of the early Leafs, Nissan Leaf, in the West Midlands and in Malvern. And in fact, a week on Sunday we will be test driving some of the electric cars too. So we've got everything happening on the Sunday.
And Dan, you're the secretary of the group as well. Are you the sort of people that, when there's a new gadget comes out, you want to have a look at it, you're curious, you want to try it?
No, the sort of people who go out and buy it.
Excellent, excellent. And then test it out.
But actually, the other thing which happens about Malvern, why it's a great place, is that the council's on side. Malvern District Council put in 6 charging points in the car park near to the park. What, about a couple of years back?
Even before we thought about it.
Before we thought about it. So it was a place which is the right place to be to have an electric show, because the council's on side and they're very supportive.
So that sounds like, gents, that's going to be quite a big event. How many people have you got subscribing? What do people need to do if they want to know more about it?
Well, they need to jump on our website, which is Electra, Electra with 2 A's on the end, the Electric Automobile Association, .org.uk, and click the registration button on the homepage. They will then be routed to automatic registration, and we've already got nearly 600 registered for the event.
Excellent.
So it's a good place to come with your family, because there's a park for the kiddies, there's driving for the people who are interested in test driving, and there's about 7 or 8 speakers talking on different topics with regard to electric cars.
Because it mentions there, doesn't it, bring your driving licence along, so there'll be an opportunity to be really interactive then. So.
And your crash helmet.
Really?
Yeah, because we've got bikes as well.
Oh, that's all right. I thought you were anticipating something might not go to plan.
No, because there's electric bikes as well, which are growing in popularity and interest because they are so powerful. No, because the government is in a bad position because they have promoted the use of diesel, and that has increased air pollution problems enormously. The government is in a position where they are constrained and compelled to do something about clean air by the European laws. And one of the few things they can do is promote electric vehicles, because they're not going to be shutting down power stations, even though they're trying. This is the one thing they can do, which is cheap. And to give a subsidy for people buying electric vehicles is probably the cheapest thing they can do in order to improve the air quality.
Time's getting the better of us, gents, so just remind us where, when and how do people find out more about it?
Well, go to our website, electraa.org.uk, and register there. Everything you need to know is on the site, but it's a week on Sunday. Starts at 11 a.m, finishes about 5 p.m. Everything you could possibly want to know will be available for you to peruse, try and ask questions.
And of course, just to clarify, although we recorded that last week, the show is actually taking place tomorrow. Right, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, Des and Gary will take a look at what's on today. Carl will be here with his regular look at the silver screen as well. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Big Magazine with me, Lee Bannister. Now, Carl will be here shortly with a look at what's what in the film charts this week. But first, it's time for Des and Gary to tell us what's on for Saturday.
OK, today and tomorrow, fans of J.R.R. Tolkien and Lord of the Rings should get down to Sarehole Mill for the Middle-earth Festival. Ooh. Okay. It's a family-friendly event with living history camps, medieval traders, food stalls, weapon displays, children's activities, costume pageants and craft tents, with many people using the festival as a chance to dress up in Middle-earth costume. Oh. And there's a pageant every day, so you can... Yeah.
I might take Mrs. GJ to that. She likes a good weapon display. If you ever used to train spot or were enchanted by the era of steam, then a trip over the Severn Valley Railway in Kidderminster is a must-do. And they're having a special iconic Diesels Day when Deltic number 55019, that's the Royal Highland Fusilier, returns to service following extensive repairs.
Oh, do you ever into train spotting?
No. I don't know why. I don't know whether they still allow it now, but when I used to come in a New Street station, used to get them, and they got their anoraks there and the sandwiches and the notebooks. Right.
Coming on the train into Walsall every day, quite often you'll see a gang of old blokes. They're all down there and got the cameras out and they're writing the notes down. And
I'll tell you, doesn't do much on the air anymore, but Les Ross.
Yeah.
He was the BRMB jockey. He's got a train named after him as well, but he was like, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, the train named after him.
Right, after sellout shows across the USA, Canada, India and the United Emirates. Is that UAE? United Emirates, isn't it? Yeah. The critically acclaimed theatrical presentation Kaifi Al-Main comes to the Symphony Hall. I hope I pronounced that right. The stage productions pays tribute to the renowned Urdu poet Kaifi Azmi, recounting the beautiful real-life love story shared by him and his wife, with romance, humour and tragedy, creating a theatrical experience that combines live music and stage drama. It's all brought to life by veteran Indian cinema actress Shabana Azmi, renowned poet, lyricist and screenwriter Javed Akhtar, and interwoven with ghazals and evergreen Bollywood film songs rendered by ghazal maestro Jaswinder Singh and a live orchestra.
Oh, OK. I'm paying attention now. UAE is United Arab Emirates.
Yes.
There we go.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how you're going to work that in, but I just thought I'd say it at the end of that piece. I didn't like to interrupt.
That's okay.
You know, I'm polite.
Yes.
You know me. Now, at the MAC, time-travelling magic duo Morgan and West present an incredible show chock full of jaw-dropping, brain-bursting, gasp-eliciting feats of magic. The dashing chaps offer up a plate full of illusion and impossibility, all served with wit, charm, and no small amount of panache. There we go. I love a good card.
Yeah. Gigs. I don't usually do DJs and clubs, but as we were contacted by email, I thought I'd include this.
That's
so
okay.
At the Slade Rooms in Wolverhampton, Cagnini presents Astralasia with support from Flux Natura. It runs throughout the night and is billed from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m.
It's probably for the slightly younger generation.
Yes, I would think so, yeah.
Everybody's tucked up in bed by 9 with a mug of cocoa.
Yeah. Flying Ant Day, Dark Circus and Big Bren's combo are part of the music organised by Shenanigans for the Mary Stevens Hospice Summer Fete, which is happening over in Old Winsford, near Stourbridge. The Roadhouse in Sturchley has the Glitter Band. Remember them?
Is that with the person whose name we no longer talk about?
But they were going a long time before
him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're actually very good musicians. Okay. And local stars of the future, Harry Jordan, that's a girl, and she's very, very good at this Americana sort of country thing. Plus the Fidgets, who are two guys, and the Good Water are all at the Sunflower Lounge. And here's the Fidgets video, great little song called Hey.
Hey girl, I've been doing some thinking and I think we better talk about it. I don't know if it's just what I'm drinking, but I know I don't want your it. I don't know what I gotta say. All I know is I really gotta talk to you. Girl, you know that you're all I wanted. Baby, see that I need you. You're the only thing that's on my mind. How'd you do it, girl? You're not even moving, but you're leaving all the others behind. See you sitting there in the corner, thinking, baby, what you trying to hide? Girl, I really wanna tell you something now, but every single time that I've tried, I don't know what I gotta say. All I know is I really gotta talk to you. God, I hope you know that you're all I wanted. Baby, I don't know what you got, but you got it. Find myself in front of you, ready to say it. I try and I try, but all I ever manage is, hey girl, I wanna say, girl, you should know, girl. God, I hope you know that you're all I wanted. Baby, I don't know what you got, but you got it. Find myself in front of you, ready to say it. I try and I try, but all I ever manage is, God, I hope you know that you're all I wanted.
And of course, Des and Gary will be here at the same time tomorrow with their take on what's on for Sunday. Plus, they'll be here with a look at the week ahead tomorrow night at 7 and again every day of the week during Big News. So then, time for a look at this week's new film releases now, as well as the movie chart. So from our movie magazine, The Big Picture, here is Carl Jones.
Thanks very much. Well, let's have a look at some of the week's big new cinema releases. And with the end of the school holidays on us, there are still quite a lot of things knocking around. Brotherhood is the latest offering from the talented Noel Clarke. And this one completes his trilogy of coming-of-age urban adventures, which began 10 years ago with a critically acclaimed film called Kidulthood, followed up in 2008 by Adulthood. This time, Noel Clarke's character Sam is facing the fact that the world's changing, that he's not as young or streetwise as he used to be, but he still needs to rely on some of his old friends if he's to survive a whole host of new dangers.
Times change. People change. But it doesn't matter if you're sorry. No matter how much you try to move on. They'll try and drag you back in.
I have a little problem with your son.
I want to know who's messing with my family.
You come work for me, I'll make the madness stop. What do you think?
You're a dead man.
You say you want to protect this family. Who's going to protect us from you?
Get out of my way, blood.
No one's his blood anymore.
The only person more dangerous than someone with nothing to lose is someone who stands to lose everything. Be careful what you wish for, cuz.
As you can see from that trailer, the edgy drama and the contemporary music is still there, just as you'd expect if you've seen and loved the first two films. Not quite as good, I don't think, as maybe the first two, but it does bring the saga to a nice, neat conclusion. Now, from edgy drama to the latest animation, but don't be fooled into thinking that this is wholesome entertainment for all the family. Sausage Party is what it's called, and this is a potty-mouthed comedy from the writers of Superbad. And yes, the hero is indeed a talking sausage. He lives in the local grocery store, and like all the other food in there, he thinks that he's waiting patiently until one day he's plucked from the shelf to go off to a magical place. Little does he know that that involves being devoured by hungry humans. Anyway, we won't show you the gruesome stuff with potato peelers. Our sausage hero has also got a bit of a thing going with a piece of bread called bun, and that's far more fun to have a look at.
I can't wait anymore. I need to just feel you.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Just the tips.
I can't believe we're doing this.
I know. We're so naughty.
But it's fine, right? I mean, nothing bad's ever happened from just the tips.
No. Oh, yeah.
Sausage Party is an adult movie which actually has some pretty thought-provoking things to say about religion, taboos in society and bigotry in our culture. It's also, though, full of sexual innuendo and foul-mouthed outbursts which more than merits its 15 certificate. You have been warned. Slightly less racy but also new this weekend is Woody Allen's latest drama called Cafe Society. This one's set in the 1930s, where a young man from the Bronx, played by Jesse Eisenberg, moves to Hollywood where he falls in love with the secretary of his powerful uncle, an agent to the stars. Kristen Stewart of Twilight fame is the secretary in question, and Steve Carell plays the intimidating uncle. Anyway, after returning to New York, the young man gets swept up in the vibrant world of high society nightlife. This is one of the most enjoyable Woody Allen films, I think, in quite some time. It's gentle, beautifully shot, but you do get the feeling that the director has drawn on his decades of experience about real-life Hollywood for the storylines, changing the names to protect the innocent, of course. So that's 3 of this week's new cinema releases, but here's a look at some of the other films riding high at the box office in the West Midlands this week. At number 5, you'll find futuristic action thriller The Purge: Election Year, which is very sci-fi. At 4, the amazing true story of 2 young chancers who became arms dealers, that's War Dogs. At 3, from the team that brought us The Hangover, is Bad Mums, starring Mila Kunis. Still at number 2, Chaos in Gotham City in Suicide Squad. And that means that for a second week in the West Midlands, the most popular movie is the animated sequel, Finding Dory.
My family! I remember my family! They're out there somewhere. I have to find them. Guys, you gotta help me, guys! Guys, hello? Guys, where are you?
Dory!
Hello?
Dory!
Ah! Where did you go?
You were the one to go.
My parents. I remembered them. Wait, what did you remember? I remembered them, my mom, my dad. I have a family. Oh, they don't know where I am. Let's go.
Dory,
we have to go.
no, this is crazy. Where exactly are you trying to go?
To the gym of the Baltic. The Jewel of Morro Bay, California. Yes.
No, Dory, California's all the way across the ocean.
Then we better get going.
How come every time we're on the edge of this reef, one of us is trying to leave? For once, can't we just enjoy the view?
How can you be talking about the view when I remembered my family?
No, we've done our ocean travels. That part of our lives is over. The only reason to travel in the first place is so you don't have to travel ever again.
Yeah,
Thanks for that, Carl. And of course, there's more from Carl every day of the week in the Big Picture Bite Size, and there are a number of editions of the Big Picture on our online catch-up service as well. Right, time for another break now. And when we come back, Johnny Doom will give us his pick of the gigs. Thomas Russon will have his nose deep in the book, and I'll be seeing how you've been connecting with us too. So, see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to Saturday's Big Magazine with me, Lee Bannister. Still to come, Thomas Russon with the Big Centre Bookshelf and Johnny Doom with his musical bit. So I think it's just about time to head on over to meet Johnny Doom now from Amped as he gives us his pick of the upcoming gigs.
Right, it's me, Johnny Doom, from your weekly rock show on Big Centre TV, Amped. Don't forget, you can see it Wednesdays at 10, 11:30 on Friday and 10 o'clock Saturday. Here's my pick of the gigs, anyway, for the coming weeks. Black Peaks and Heck, very good live bands. That's 13th of September at Wolverhampton Slade Rooms. If you want to get back to the 80s big country, they're at the Robin 2 in Bilston, Wolverhampton, 16th of September. And another legend, Gary Newman, 17th of September. He's at the Copper Rooms, Warwick Students' Union in Coventry. And here he is, something I grew up with. This is Cars.
Will you visit me, please? If I open my
Right then, shall we take a stroll through the literary world? Shall we see what's upon the Big Centre bookshelf? Yes, I think we should. Hello, Tom.
Hello, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm not so bad. Not bad at all. Busy.
Good.
Busy.
Yes, now I can see what we're going to be talking about this
yes.
week. However, I
yes.
believe you've had some correspondence.
We have, yeah, absolutely. I do occasionally get people recommending books and such on sent into the email bookshelf@bigcentre.tv. But today, last week, was the first one the first person who's written in to really comment on my reviews.
Okay.
So this is from a gentleman named Steve Green, who sent in the following. Hi Thomas, just wanted to compliment you on your advocacy of Anne McCaffrey's Dragonflight on today's edition of Big Magazine, so last week, Dragonflight. I first met Anne in 1978 when she proved a splendid guest of honour at the Birmingham SF convention, Novacon. Although I didn't continue with the entire series, I really enjoyed the initial novels and the way she came up with a scientific rationale for dragons and Pern's ecology, rather than just wave a magic wand and go the fancy route, which is what I said pretty much. The Ship Who Sang and Restory are also well worth reading, as I'm sure you're aware. I am very aware of it. So readers, in addition to Dragonflight, which is part of a very long series, The Ship Who Sang and Restory are harder science fiction that Ms. McCaffrey wrote. And they are also very, very, very good. But Dragonflight, the Dragon series really has my heart.
So we'll cover the others in future weeks, perhaps?
May well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So Steve goes on to talk about an event that's actually happening this evening. So viewers online, unfortunately, it's on the 3rd of September. So incidentally, there is now a monthly gathering of horror and dark fantasy fans in Birmingham. The next on 3rd of September. So any viewers watching today can come along to this thing if you're a fan of dark fantasy and horror. I have a birthday, I'm going to try and go to it there. But it is at the Anchor Inn in Digbeth, starting at 7 p.m.
Ah, right, okay.
So that's the Anchor Inn in Digbeth, tonight, Saturday the 3rd of September.
Fair enough.
Okay. There they'll be discussing the curious allure of serial killers in fiction, which would be very good.
Curious allure?
Curious allure, yes.
One way of putting it.
Allure, right. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate that. And anyone else, if they ever have any reactions, any comment, feedback and such, are more than welcome to send us a message.
Excellent.
But I love that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, we like that. Thank you, Steve. Right. So then, this week's book is in front of us on the table.
This is the Beastie. This is Harlequin, by one of my favourite authors of all time, a big fan of historical fiction, Bernard Cornwell, English author. And this is book one of the Grail Quest trilogy, called Harlequin, or Alcan, to be French, because it's a French word. And the gist of it is, it follows the story of the illegitimate son of a priest on the Dorset coast, called Thomas of Hookton.
Okay.
And it's set during King Henry's Great War with the French. And Thomas of Hookton is a self-trained English war bowman. So he carries a bow more than 6 feet long. And it's a time when England's armies are dominated by enormous quantities of war bowmen. And it follows his adventures after a family heirloom, family artefact, you could say, is stolen by raiders. And across 3 books, it unfolds a really tremendous story. Not fantastical, not too constrained by historical events, because a lot of it happens along very sidelines, references some real historical happenings, things that actually happened, and really gives a really interesting, feels very real, a view of a very different time in the world. When the world was changing rapidly, the world was growing, and shrinking in some ways, because Britain's reach was enormous. And it really goes into a lot of war. It's really unflinching, but it's fantastic. It really is great. Thomas of Hookton is a great protagonist. He's very, very good.
You would say that because you share the same name.
Well, yeah, just greatness just happens, doesn't it?
Is that what the word Thomas means?
Thomas actually means the twin.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a Hebrew word. Yeah.
Trying to joke, but
No. Thomas actually means the twin, which, being a Gemini as well, just all over the place.
You're perfect for it.
Pretty much. But So, yes, so you have, in this series, you have Harlequin, Vagabond and Heretic. So you go from being the devil's horseman to being a vagabond, so a wandering raider of sorts, all the way to Heretic. So it kind of illustrates the progressive grimness of the story. But at no point is it forced. It's a real feature of Bernard Cornwell's work, really. It can be very grim, it can be very dark, but it's never gratuitously so. You get a lot of historical fiction that really revels in battle and blood and murder. Bernard Cornwell very, very rarely does that. There is a lot of explicit violence, but it's never gratuitous, which I really, really love.
Right, so it's quite a thick tome then.
This one, having a quick look, it's just shy of 500 pages.
Oh, right, okay.
Each one. And they're very, very good.
Yeah, so it holds your attention then.
Phenomenal cast of bad guys as well.
Yeah.
Love the bad guys.
Okay, so you obviously like it. Tell us what you think, give us a rating.
It's not perfect, but largely because if you have for those with a subtle grounding in the 100 Years' War, you'll get a lot out of it and love it. But those who are real sticklers for history, historical accuracy. Bernard, he says in many of his blurbs and such that he will use history to the benefit of telling a good story. So he'll move historical events a little bit. You don't get much of it in this because, like as I said before, the historical plot is very much sidelined to the main story. So the historical events happen around the story, which is really, really cool. But I love it. The series as a whole, you can't really fault it. It's great. For lovers of historical fiction, unless you're a kind of dyed-in-the-wool, you look for the blood and guts sort of stuff, that's the only basis on which you could criticise it, really, is that it's not as gratuitous as other examples of the genre.
Okay.
But I'd give it a solid 4.5 stars. It's not perfect, but it's very, very good. Very much worth a read.
With a Bernard Cromwell then?
Cornwell,
sorry.
Yes. And it's not... I don't think this one is... Just like Sharp, which is Bernard Cornwell's first breakthrough work, which is basically giving him permission to write whatever he wants, because he's so successful. It's never been out of print in more than... Well, I've had this for more than 15 years. So, very good, very successful. People love it.
Lovely.
People love Cornwell, just like me.
Okay, so if, like Steve Green, anybody would like to get in touch with you again, comment on that or
comment on what I've said. Yeah, absolutely. If you hate it, if someone hates it out there, please, I will gladly defend my position.
Oh yeah.
Bookshelf@bigcentre.tv. Drop me an email, and we'll look forward to hearing from you.
Right then, time to see how you've been connected with us this week. And first up, tattoos. Have you got one? Well, they're a form of body art and a way to express yourself. Not if you're in the police force, though. Under a current ruling put in place by the Met Police back in 2012, officers are banned from having any tattoos on their hands or face. Why? Well, because they're visible, and it could send out the wrong message and devalue the uniform itself. Now, the Police Federation of England and Wales are calling for the ban to be removed, enabling officers to have visible tattoos in places, including on their faces, in order to avoid hampering the recruitment of promising candidates in the future. So, we've been out there getting some of your views.
I totally agree. I don't think that having tattoos makes you any less of a capable police officer. So, yeah, I agree. It should be totally lifted.
Well, I think the ban should be lifted. I think it's pretty ridiculous, really, that people are... police officers are not allowed to wear tattoos. If it's a case of where they're trying to say, police have to look a certain way as uniform, I can understand their point of view. But for me, if the tattoo is not offensive in any way, I don't see any reason why they should not be allowed to wear tattoos or have tattoos.
I don't feel that it discriminates at all. It's just it's a drawing, really, isn't it? It shouldn't discriminate against anyone's ability to be a good police officer.
I don't really see it as a problem at all, to be honest. I mean, loads of people have tattoos and it doesn't make them a bad person, and so it shouldn't be a problem, really.
I think there's nothing wrong with tattoos, it's just something that people do to express themselves, so not really an issue, to be honest.
And I mean, if you were to approach a police officer with a tattoo on his face or his neck, would you feel any different in comparison to one that doesn't?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. wouldn't look at them any different.
I would probably think they were more relatable. I could relate to them better.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's just tattoos. It's you know, it's something on your skin. I don't think it defines you as a police officer.
Not at all. No, I don't see. Again, you know, my dad's got tattoos all over, so it doesn't change him as a person. He's a big softie, really. He probably hurt me for saying that, but
No, not at all. Not at all. That's a straight answer. Just I wouldn't.
I feel okay. You don't have to judge people by, you know, as long as they do what they do.
Next, a new study suggests that vaping could be as bad for your heart as smoking cigarettes. The research conducted by the European Society for Cardiology presented their findings at the world's largest cardiology conference in Rome. The study comes amid growing controversy about the safety of e-cigarettes, with the NHS and Public Health England backing it, claiming the habit was 95% safer than smoking. But all this news on whether it's bad or not is not encouraging people to give it the kick. In fact, in some cases, it's just leaving them feeling confused.
Yeah, definitely. I think you just shut off, you know, everything's bad for you. Wine's bad for you, beer's bad for you, food's full of carcinogens, so you just got to do what makes you happy. You know, you're only here once. So.
Frustrated. It's because one day you might have a report saying one thing, another day saying something else, and then you just don't know what to believe anymore. It's just quite frustrating, really, and you just don't know what to do for the best.
You have to take them for what they are, not just at simple face value. People were advised to switch to vaping to stop them breaking the habit of cigarette smoking, not to give them the habit of vaping. It's as I said, it's common sense and taking these things not just in face value but for what they actually mean.
Just that you don't trust what you're told by specialists or, you know, things that come out on the newspapers, so it makes you feel a little bit nervy about what they're actually telling you, if it's going to be true.
Personally, I think the whole, it's been announced that vaping's bad for you, but next week they could easily come out with, well, sorry, we've made another mistake. Personally, I feel as if I've got lots more energy when I'm vaping rather than smoking cigarettes.
So then, just time to dip into the post bag. Now, I haven't been in it much recently because I was off on holiday a couple of weeks ago, and then we just didn't have time last week. But a couple of things have caught my eye. So let's have a look, shall we? And DEK Images have been in touch to let us know something rather cool. Now, you might remember the Dudley by Drone film that we showed you here on Big Centre a few months ago. Well, the guys at DEK have tweeted us to say, our film Dudley by Drone has been shortlisted for an award in a film festival in France. Now, it's actually the 2016 Drone Experience Film Festival, which takes place in Nantes in France on the 18th and 19th of September. And you can find out more about that at www.drone-festival.com. Now, it's all in French, so just make sure your browser is able to translate. And the best of luck to DEK Images from everyone here at Big Centre. We all love the film. Now, Simon Tidmarsh has been in touch. He says, I picked up your channel from the Coventry area on Freeview this evening. Fantastic programmes. You should extend to cover Cov. Supposed to be Birmingham only. Great programmes on it. Well, thank you very much, Simon. Now, we know that we already knew that a lot of people who are technically outside our area can see what we do, and so often we'll mention stuff happening in those areas. But it's got me thinking, how far is the furthest person who can see me right now? That's if you want to. Let me know where you are. But you must be watching this on either Freeview Channel 7 or Virgin Media 159. Now, of course, if you're watching online, then you can tell me that as well. But I'm curious as to where our proper telesignals are actually being picked up, so get in touch, all right? Now, last week you might have seen Ninda Johal join us for a chat about the Midlands being an engine for growth. He's quite a regular guest, as the West Midlands Combined Authority spotted. They tweeted us to say, always good to see Ninda Johal from the Black Country Local Enterprise Partnership talking up the region. Yeah, we think so. Ninda's a fascinating fella. Oh, and if you saw Emma Bentley's piece about in the news about the most popular song to be played at a funeral, well, Carl A. Robinson tweeted to say, has to be We'll Meet Again by Vera Lynn. Good choice. But apparently the #1 song at the moment is Frank Sinatra's My Way. But again, it's got me thinking, when the time arrives, what would you like? That's not such a morbid thing to think about these days. Now, of course, you could always go for something totally inappropriate. And I'll tell you what, having worked in a number of newsrooms over the years, I can tell you that journalists can be quite a cynical lot. Can you imagine what they've come up with? Now, some of them I've worked with have gone on to quite big things, but I couldn't possibly tell you who they are or what they said. But coming back to the point, what would be your funeral song of choice? Go on, let me know. And finally, Amy Jackson is a woman of few words. She sent an email in just saying, hi. So, hi to you, Amy. Yeah. So there you go. Would you like to get in touch with us? Maybe you just want to say hi and get your name on the telly. I don't mind. Or perhaps you want to send someone a nice message on the telly as well. Maybe it's somebody's birthday. Whatever. On social media, we are at Big Centre TV, and you can find us under that name on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Plus, of course, you can email us hello@bigcentre.tv. And don't forget, we do have a couple of other Twitter feeds as well that you can keep in touch with. For sport, it's at Big Centre Sport, and for news, it's at Big Centre News. Simple. Or if you just want to write to us, then the address for anything at all is Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL. And from next week, both Your Say and Postbag are coming together under the title of Big Centre Connect. Just makes sense to me. Same time, same stuff, just a new name. So then, that's your Big Magazine for Saturday. And remember, you can catch the Big Magazine from Big News on Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Then we're back with more tomorrow, Sunday, also at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. So I hope you can join us then. From the whole team here, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Try a bit.